Uh, Welcome to Forget Your Chains. I saw this visual novel and it talks about psychotic events. I think wading through the depths of your subconscious, awake to your dark rooms, damaged and chilly, as it always is. Is a cozy room to an outsider or guest. You hear a slight hum coming from the old metal vent on the ceiling. The vent covered in black mold spotches has slight sliver accents between the growth. You peer over to the old ceiling fan. You try to avoid turning it on. It seems like it will fall and break when it's in motion. It's delicate, yet unstable, like most things in your little bedroom. The floor sheets you're laying beneath are slightly scratchy, but warm. Holes are scattered along the white sheets, unraveling threads. Your house is infected with bugs from the rotten food and trash you leave around. Time is an unfamiliar concept and things decay to those not accustomed to the world moving. Conscious thoughts. Moths probably caused this. I can see it. You recall the night where everything was disturbingly quiet. You heard voices coaxing you, sticking sewing needles into your arms, but you can't recall their reasoning. You push the thought away. You look over to the window to try and gain a sense of time. It's pitch black. Your neighbor's house blocks moonlight, so you're unable to tell if it's early morning or early night. The paint peeling off, some bits chipped and scratched. You remember hearing an animal trapped in the wall screaming for help and trying to scratch it open until your nail bit blood. Jesus. Voices. Rotting meat. That dead animal hates you. It's dead rotting meat in your walls. You'll rot for not saying anything them. Your walls are scratched up. An ugly beige wallpaper covers your walls. There's torn sections with holes in the drywall. Sometimes you see little eyes staring at you through the holes. You cover them with plush thrown blankets, but they always fall. Jesus Christ. Damn. What a poor living condition. Do I work? Do I have a job? How does this work? You mull over your dreams, barely detached from them. You still see and experience them, vaguely as they fade away. Your teeth were falling out again. You could feel pounds of what? Enamel shards fill your mouth. You pull out endless clumps of shards of teeth with no success in your dreams. Jesus Christ. It wasn't a nightmare. You regularly dream of this, pondering the meaning. It's hard to differentiate when you're awake or asleep. You only notice subtle differences within the feeling of muscle livening compared to the lyric sensation of paralysis. Your brain has mastered mimicry of the rest of your waking life, from injection of breathing. You felt ill. Days physically exhausted, life has dealt you an unfortunate deck of cards, unrelenting. It's hard to go on most days, fighting for your life, feeling terrible, ominous glimpses of memories at the brink of the conscious thoughts. Conscious thought, it may not be real. You must carry the burden of your flawed brain chemistry and keep moving. A life of persistence, terror, inconsciousness, and reality. You feel the disconnect between your thoughts and coherency, a lack of control. You are terribly confused. You register the dimly lit room, hesitant to look at anywhere as to not see distressing presence. You have tried your hardest to assign a sense of comfort to this room. Everything can become ominous. In the wakes of paranoia, even the soft floor sheets invoke a childlike type of fear. You look over at the desk. It's painted white to try to create fresh, natural tone to the room. White always sticks out when it's dark enough. Your office chair is a flowery fabric sewn on. The cushions is not very comfortable. Your black computer monitor seems to stare back at you. There. You cover it with a blanket most days, afraid too of the content within. You have a phobia of most everything, but the social paranoia eats you the most. The walls are blank, except for the wallpaper. You've learned to loathe it, almost like clusters of holes peering into your windstalk. There's creatures in the halls. Wasps are coming out of the hive. You haven't bothered with pictures or posters. They all seem to stare at you, sometimes whispering. You don't feel like housing more people on your walls. You've knocked your plush friends off your bed again. They understand you're tossing and turning in the midst of undress. They don't blame you. We don't. You have a plethora of plush animals and dolls you sleep with. They feel like protectors in the night, a place to hide. You have a wide variety of plush bears, some fuzzy friends that are strong in nature. Some of them have a strong odor. You don't wash things as much as you should. The strange odor, despite being unpleasant, gives you a sense of comfort. It reminds you of your home, your childhood even. Wash up, please. We are coated in filth. The light voice is heard is a whispered undeterminable or identity or who it comes from. It sounds like it's simultaneously inside and outside of your head. You feel like an observer. Your thoughts are disconnected from everything. Your mouth seems to vomit. Words on occasion randomly generated. The confusion grows as you observe strings of thoughts, all disconnected streams of consciousness. Your lips are damaged and bodily. You peel off layers of skin as a nervous habit. As you peer over the bedside table, your stomach churns. Perceiving anything seems like a threat. It's a small coffee table. Someone gifted you. It's scratched over. You can't remember who gave it to you. The paint is smooth to intact. The table has small traces of graphite scratched along the surface. The writing sometimes from the words in the dark. Mostly threats or conscious thoughts from the table. The table is usually displeased and anxious. I don't want to look at it. Oh. Observing the small wooden table, dimly lit by a digital alarm clock, you spot your pill container. It's a little rainbow organizer as a consolation prize for the chronic sickness that infests your head. It's the little things. The table has no words for you today. It is painted white to match the rest of the room, highlighting itself with the dim lighting granted from your smooth black alarm clock. It's a digital alarm clock. You figured the clear numeric display would be easier to read. You look at your little alarm clock. It displays nothing. Displays cryptic. It's undecipherable. You feel a sense of irony. Maybe this is clock ways of taunting you. You taste the familiar metallic taste of blood in your mouth, unconsciously guarding the inside skin. 9. You trace your fingers along your pill organizer. It's smooth and pleasant to the touch. It's slightly chilled from the cold room you're in. You carefully observe the medication, meticulously popping open each segment of check. To check if you miss something, you feel restless, hands unsteady. Your body goes cold, and you feel your stomach twist. The past 3 days are still full. You vaguely remember running out of your antipsychotics 4 days ago. Your hands are trembling now. There's nothing you can do except wait. You might have emergency medication somewhere around here. You don't remember where you put it. It won't work fully for a few days, but it might help. I don't want this. You turn back your room trying to find something unthreatening. You stare at the flowers on your sheets, expecting to see if they're moving when they shouldn't. You weigh your options. This room is starting to feel like a prison. Your heart feels still. Everything feels still. But as focus is lent, the room livens. You take note of your aching body. You've been in your bed for days. The pillows are warm and flattened from the weight of your body. Your lightly throw pillows are scattered about from your restless nights. You're aching everywhere and can't find comfort except for a fetal position, with your face hidden in the sheets. Your sheets smell faintly of laundry detergent, a fresh soapy smell. You inhale deeply. It contrasts against the taste of blood in your mouth. As you inhale, tastes like a mixture of blood and soap. The taste of blood is sharp and metallic, contrasting against the refreshing states of your sheets. They combine to create a disgusting flavor. Your sense heightens without visual peering into the black abyss. Within your sheets shows faint shapes of illusions and pictures. The pictures and shapes mold in front of your eyes. Oh, hello? A disturbing skinned man fades in with the abstract shapes. He's grotesque, with an arrangement of drooling mouths filled with long teeth and black glossy tongues. His eyes are darkened holes. yet they seem to stare right through you. This is disgusting. You decide to rather see your unknowingly ominous room than the horrific visuals brought from the complete nothingness. He's scratching your eyes. Disgusting. You shake the image from your head as it fades. You feel like an animal caught in a trap. You also feel like behind your eyes, you're observing that animal. You view your window, unthreatening in nature. You can't help but feel something will appear in the darkness. Your heart skips a beat, slightly panics. You look away for your own sake. You ponder what you should do now. You have a gnawing feeling you should find your emergency medication. Staying here would be more safe though. You need to check your room before you do anything. Just in case. Oh. Check the windows, make sure nobody's there. Go to your mirror to cover it. Go to your screen to cover your monitor. Okay, let's go. Oh, what a nice desk. You peer over your desk. The paint scratches up the desk quite clean. You've abandoned your work. Laptop taunts you, a black shade of darkness. You have a terrible phobia of it. We don't like you. You start to think the terrible things you've seen in your laptop, articles, cyber attacks, evil, harbored in the crevices. You've seen warnings from cybersecurity sites. Every link is infected. You don't trust anyone. Everyone is out to get you. That's the internet. That's Twitter. Your webcam is covered with a small piece of tape. Sometimes you from a sticker. Whatever makes it stop watching you. You feel like you're being spied on. People are gathering your information. You are a pile of data. Your existence is collected in a myriad of folders. There are strange men in the internet prying through your computer, harvesting your information. Your microphone is disabled. You feel the people in your computer enabled it. They're watching you. They're waiting for you to do something. You used to browse the websites casually, but would notice the text changing. You would see your name pop up paired with notification with people threatening you. Sometimes you would see endless masses of numbers, encrypted text. You would hear something breathing in your ear. Videos would start to talk to you directly. They were to harm you. They were engineered to harm you. What is that word? Laptop. Why are you thinking this? Noonie? Nani? What? Are you guilty? You must be guilty. We are the voices of the world. You cannot defy us. I am not bad. You would not know these things unless you are bad. They wouldn't be out to get you unless you are bad. You made a terrible mistake, didn't you? You wouldn't believe us unless... Evil, evil, evil. What did I do? Did I say something? This. You must be good. You're afraid of us, expecting... You shift through your memories, trying to from your medicine. It's hard to find things. You felt terrible. You perceive you perceive everyone as a threat. We know who you are. We will find you. You are evil. We will find what you've done and show you who you truly are. What? Is it watching me? Did I cover my webcam? We are live streaming your terror as evidence of your guilt. If you were guilty of something, you would not be scared. I don't feel well. My medicine. You are trying to manipulate us. You can't use your illness as a crutch for being a terrible person. We knew you every guilty. You are manipulative and evil. You stare away from the computer. It's still chatting about you. It only makes sense that it laughs while watching your distress. You grab a soft throw blankets from your bed. It's the closest thing, and you just want this stupid thing to shut up. Jesus. You throw the closet blanket on top of it. It goes silent when it's covered. It seems like it's waiting for you to uncover it. You can feel it waiting. It wasn't to hurt you badly or for something smothering it. You stare for a while, unaware of time passing. Its words continue to echo in your head. Am I bad? Do I manipulate people? You exhale deeply after shallow panic breaths. You move back to your bed, accessing the room. You decide what to do next. Let's go into the window. To the window, to the wall. You slowly shift towards the window. It's chiller here. There must be a crack somewhere. Well, okay, never mind. Sorry. You slowly inch closer to the window. You take shallow breaths. It's pitch black. The window still is coated in a thick layer of dust and carpet fuzz. There's dirt scattered from the little succulent you used to grow. What did I say? I bet I said it wrong. The wood is probably rotten. You see creatures coming through cracks. You can't seem to find. The darkness peers into you. You feel panic. I know something is out there. Something. Someone. It's out there. You feel a sudden pang of terror. You know something shouldn't be out there. You feel deeply that something is. You enter a trance, trying to catch whatever is out there watching you. You know something is there. Your gut wrenches. Nothing seems to stare back. I'm probably making it up. You feel a slight wind current from unsealed part of the window. A cold came through your slightly comfort. That you are wearing socks. I'm wearing socks? What? You haven't changed them in a while. They have collected grime. They have a strange scent. At least part of you is warm. Am I naked with only socks? You peer closer into the dirty glass pane. You stare unblinking. into the darkness. You know something has to be there. Your nose is cold from the chilly air seeping through the cracks in the window. You stare. It has to be out there. Your eyes water. You are so entranced you don't blink. You feel your heart skip a beat every time you think something is being out there. Your breathing is shallow and quiet, like you're trying to remain hidden despite staring wide-eyed at the window. You feel stuck there. You cannot resist the urge to look out of pure fear. Peeking room, hello. Let me in, I will help you. No. The attached mouth, what? Why did the computer peeking woman? Don't be that way, let me in. You stare intrigued at this figure. It appears to be some kind of hollow no mask. It isn't floating. It's attached to something dark, as if its entire body was completely black. Considering its mask, it's illuminated. It eagerly awaits your response. Come on, Melanie. Let me in. You need a guest. Your home is completely empty. You can't tolerate being alone, so let me in. You bite the inside of your mouth, wondering what's in it for this creature. You have a terrible gut feeling about that. It feels like a threat. You don't want to see it, but you're staring somehow. Something did. You were looking for me. Let me in. The voice seems to be getting more frantic. Yet, its face remains solemn and unchanging. It looks content. It stares deeply into you. Let us in. Us? No. It goes silent. You stare at it on edge. Ooh, Melanie. Please, my babies are so hungry. Melanie, why are you looking at us like that? Don't you like spiders? You say nothing, you just stare. It will go away. Melanie, we are so hungry. You slowly register the woman made of spiders. You wonder if that's the source of the spiders that live in your window. Eat ants. You didn't really know what to say to it, her, them, the spiders. You recall the spiders living in your window, still eating the little trail of ants. See, okay, hot take. Hot take. This is a perfect example of when to really gender someone. In this case, it's them, since this woman is clearly made of spiders, and these spiders have somewhat of a conscience. They just want to eat. So, I would say them. You didn't really know what to say to them. There are not enough ants for all of us. We are hungry, Noni. Please help us. God damn it. Fun fact. There is, for every human, you follow me? For every human that exists on Earth, there is 5 million ants for each human. That's the amount of ants that exist in the world. It's an absurd number. It's yeah. There's enough for you guys. If you think about it. Stay down. Dare to leave? You have nothing to give. She's gone. You exhale deeply after shallow panicked breath. You move back to your bed, outside the room. You decide what to do next. Go to a mirror to cover it. You walk over your mirror. You usually have it covered with a push blanket. This room is cold though. It's cold and dark. It nearly outweighs the bad memories haunting the mirror. Your mirror is large oval with a semi-gloss of white paint. This is your second mirror. The old one before treatment not destroyed in the incident. What? That's me. Your face had melted in the form you saw yourself talking. It knew how to torment you. It whispered vile sentiments. This went on for days. You couldn't sleep because it got louder and more cruel. You were exhausted, pushed to your limits. The wallpaper seems to buzz with movements, patterns intended to shift and melt. Things are so lively for being inanimate. You saw yourself twisted and evil in the mirror. Your eyes were vacant holes dripping with dark liquid similar to sobbing girl with mascara. You stare into the mirror, sleep deprived and exhausted. As you got closer, your reflection went silent. In the small, still moment of false peace, it grips its face and stares, ripping your face off. It started ripping your face off. You didn't know if the harrowing screams was yours or the reflection. Your face started to sting as it was being clawed apart. Jesus, you saw it dig its filthy nails into the side of its face, flesh collecting under the nails, and streaks of blood following the claw marks. It started to peel away the flesh, strings of flesh being left behind with blood dripping from the wounds. You were depending. Jesus. Whoa. It dug its fingers into the wounds, stuffing them in. It suddenly ripped its entire face off. Powers of flesh were at its palm. You could see holes from the mouth and eyes, blood splattered from the forces of its tearing. You stared endlessly into the mirror, a vile reflection taunting you with your demise reflected black eyes. Your eyes watered, blurring. It seems to be twitching. Your stomach twist. Dead. You felt vile. You had just seen your reflection tear off its own face, glossing dark blood with stinking down its arm. Beads of blood collected on your skin, face as a grotesque miles forms. You wanted to vomit. You hit the mirror, destroying it. It broke into reflected shards. Your knuckles were bleeding, your palm dripping from gripping the mirror shards. You were found with your face scratched and injured, screaming to yourself. You don't remember the screamings or who found you. All you know is ended up in another hospital. You don't know why or how you have another mirror. You can't tell which invokes more distress, the mirror or the dark window next to it. There are small creatures infesting the window. You've chosen to leave them alone. A brown spider has taken residence in a small crevice in your window. Still, you let it be. It eats the little ants that bothers you. And you could use a roommate in this empty house. You dislike this corner. You feel like someone is standing there looking. Maybe some hostile entity is here with me. The window is still needs to be clean. It's coated in grime. A thick layer of dust and fuzz covers. Your mirror is coated in dust as well. There is no point in cleaning it, nor do you want to look at it. You need to cover it while you're in this state. You don't want to see things you shouldn't be there when you inevitably become entranced with the mirror. You look around for a blanket with no success as your floor is pitch black. You stare, feeling around the blanket. You hear the crinkles of old grimy plastic wrappings from those disgusting protein bars you consume to survive. More food for the spiders and ants. You find one of your protein bars on the floor. It's a chocolate mint flavor. It's somewhat crushed. You decide to grab it. You feel around some more on your somewhat soft carpet, feeling crumbs of shedded hair. Carpet was an awful choice for such a filthy living area. You haven't washed it in ages. You pat around blindly to feel a soft pile of fabric. It feels like you're plush with thrown blankets. As you grab your soft blanket, you feel a cold slimy head grab your back. Your heart jolts. You see a silhouette of a large, smeared with black hand. The hand is desperate fingers dig into your wrist. Maybe that is the blanket. You were very inconsiderate of his needs. What? You have several floor blankets on your bed. You can bear to lose one. Jesus. Leave his blanket alone. He's gone too. You choose to leave the blanket on the floor. It's chilly and dry in this room. The chilly blank silhouette of the hand must be trying to warm up. His skin feels dry and scaly. He needs moisturizer. You take note to leave some on the floor for him. What? You think the floor is alive? You try to steal his blanket. You should make it up for him. You take one of its plentiful throw blankets you have on your bed and cover the mirror. You wedge some of the cloth between the wall so it won't fall. The room feels slightly less sickening. Nice. You stare into the floor, grateful to not see nothing more. Reflections aren't always what they seem. You exhale deeply, unaware you were holding your breath as you covered the mirror. You look around the dark room. You shiver from the house consistently cold temperature. You feel like meat being preserved in the refrigerator, waiting to be sliced up and eaten, or suffocated in the darkness until you rot. You balance your options, figuring out where to go next. You feel lost in the sea of racing thoughts and confusion. Make your decision. Leave. Maybe you can find some emergency medication. It's safe to here. You checked everything. Let's go. You slowly open your door. It creaks silently. Slightly, you make your way into the hallway. You hate this hallway. It's an off-white hall. The walls are textured. There are no pictures or decorations. It's empty. The darkness induces a paranoia within you. You can't shake the feeling of being watched. It's a strange, bumpy texture. You trace your fingers along the floor. It's a chilly pattern tile. There's nothing at the end of the hallway, just an abyss of black. To your right, there's a dark doorway. It leads to the living room. It's extremely quiet. It feels still. Your heart is racing and your hands are shaky. You can't seem to take your eyes off the darkness. Your vision is blurred from staring. You have a deep feeling that if you stop watching, whatever is lurking will stop hurting and kill you. This hallway invokes a sense of dread that is unshakable. You collect yourself and walk hastily to the living room. You exhale relief, nothing has hurt you in the hallway. You enter the dark room, feeling slightly comforted by its spacious. It feels less like being trapped. It's a warm tone area with a plethora of cozy brown shades. There's a brick fireplace to your right. It would be useful in providing warmth if you weren't prohibited from dangerous objects from sliders. You indulge in the idea of comforting glow and warmth. It's cold and eerie here though. It feels so deeply empty. All you can hear is the faint hum of the air conditioning. You heard undecipherable whispers. They're faint. Maybe they're talking about you. Voices. They're talking about you. The voices used to be impossible to recognize, as unreal as they usually sound like your family. You lived with them. It sounded like they were outside of your doorway. They would say strange things to amuse you. It was some type of teasing or joke, albeit cruel of nature. When you were medicated, it got quiet. Nobody hung out at your doorway like you amused. Assumed what amused? Assumed. You asked about comments that stood out as cruel or strange. They were never at your doorway. Not that you're alone. You know the voices belong to nobody. You decide to start searching the room. Let's check the medicines is there. Okay. You turn to the corner of the living room. Your favorite chair sits there. It's large old plush chair. It's scattered up lovely, loved dearly. It has a soft, woolly fabric with intricate stitching. The dull brown is strangely comforting. It's too dark to see it at the moment. There's a matching circular ottoman at the floor of your cozy chair. You feel a sense of safety wash over you. Often the chair is covered in your plush blankets. You feel safe when you hide in the corner. Things are much less threatening when you hold your knees on your head while sitting. You can only see through a small window between your legs. Not much can happen in such a small area. It's safe. It's safer. People usually get scared at the sound of you with your head buried between your knees, sitting on the floor. They just don't understand that it's safe. It's the only sense of control you have. A small window of vision where not much can happen. It won't stop voices, but it's something. Something is better than nothing. Okay. Couch, okay, couch. Whoa. You move to sit on your couch. It's brown plush sofa with instructively stitched pattern. A small brown coffee table, it's in front of you. Your gaze is caught by the TV. The pitch black screen draws you in. Something about such a lively object being seemingly dead and quiet is mesmerizing. You sink into the cushions. They comfort your aching body. Your room seems unquietly hollow. For a living room, as if you were a ghost living here. You're afraid of decorations. Choosing the wrong one that cause any sense of unease will permanently haunt you. Your leg itches as you notice the crumbs left all over the couch digging into your skin. You need to clean more. It becomes so difficult when the concept of time escapes from your head. Days pass. You can't remember much from them, but where you are living, it becomes disgusting. You never what? You never know how it got this bad. How wrappers became scattered on where you decided it was safest to sleep, with crumbs and the cushions flattened. Time keeps moving while you're trapped in your head. It is impossible to understand when everything is already so scary and confusing. You've never been seen to stare at a wall for hours, unaware of the flow of time, enamored by something unseen to the sane eye. You feel a sense of shame. You look deeply strange and confusing to others who aren't capable of understanding. You remember how they treat you when you're not in your right sense of mind. You remember being deeply afraid of a threat, a deeply embedded belief of terrifying visuals. However, due to your strangeness, they just laughed at you. Your fear is a spectacle. Your terror is invisible to everyone else. Gazing at the blank TV, you try to shove aside the thoughts of people watching you. It never helps when your delusions are mixed with truth. It gives the voices a sense of credibility. You remove yourself from the couch while swiping off the embedded crumbs, making your legs strain. You shift and continue moving. You faintly remember you need your medicine. It's hard to keep your thoughts contained and straight. You get lost frequently. Check the window, make sure nobody's there. It feels wrong staring into the darkness, encased in the cold window panes. You know it's wrong to stare. It brings misfortune. Your breathing is hesitant and shallow. Staring manifests things you don't want to see. You can't seem to help it. You see sharp melt and shift into the darkness. The darkness makes it easier for you, flawed brain, to misconstrue reality. You turn your gaze to the dark wooden cabinet. It contains a plethora of expired food and canned goods. It's dusty and cold to the touch. Stagnant and still, stagnant named stagnant and still like the rest of the house. You wish for things to be unbearably still, but everything is granted a unique type of lively nature, even if it's as absolutely still. Everything feels life, like it's waiting for you. Inanimate objects whisper to you, encouraging you to pay mind. The windows is out to get you. They're out there waiting. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Don't believe us. You have to. What? You walk into the grimy marble countertop. Crumbs are scattered along the surface. It feels infected with bacteria. The air smells of mildew, as something rotting. The air feels still. It invokes a sense of unease. The sink area is cleaned through thoroughly, and counterware with the prepared foods are spotless. The dishes are loaded. You can't stand piles of dishes. You can't stand piles of dishes. It feels like the ghost of the food previously, and the sink contaminated any dishes despite being washed. They aren't safe if they're not in the dishwasher. Everything here is determined to make you sick. Every time you eat, you feel sick afterwards. You have a terrible phobia of most foods produced in meat. Scare you the most. Produce feels infected. It all has molded and E. coli. You can't cook meat. Once you see it uncooked, it evokes a terrible fear. It's infested with maggots or bacteria. It will make you sick. You will see flashes of mold or movement in your food. You would see wrinkly white specks in every instance of raw meat. Food always tasted strange, and you couldn't shake the feeling of being poisoned. I just wish I could trust the food I need to eat again. I feel so sick. You think your medication, it became apparent that this was a delusion, but you felt nauseated, and ill every time you took it. Nauseous. Was that poison? Were they poisoning me? Why do I feel so sick all the time? You stare with an empty gaze in the sink, unaware of the flow of time. You're entangled in the web of your own thoughts yet again. Your heart jolts as the stray thoughts passes through you. You remember your medication cabinet. It's in the bathroom. You avoidant as it is ominous in the dark, but you need to check. You start to rush to the bathroom. You stop 2 tracks. You start shivering. I know you're in there, Nani. Nani? You selfish little brat. You have food everywhere. We can smell it. You freeze in place. You're too close to the window. She's broken in. You're trembling in fear. We can't let you live for this. You left us all to die. You hear her voice, somewhat distant. It's close. You made meat, Naomi. You're probably rotten for all we know. You selfish brat. How could you let us starve? She stares strictly, her voice shaken and full of rage. You hear the trapping of thousands of tiny spiders grow near. You froze in horror. You thought you could just kill us? You want us dead? You're so evil. Whoa. You wretched bitch. You selfish and evil. You would rather kill my babies than sacrifice one tiny piece of food? You need to be punished. You need to realize you're weak than us. You will always be weak, Noni. Thousands of spiders start crawling up your legs. Your body starts stinging as they chew you alive. The spiders crawl up to your entire body. You frantically try to swat them off and crush them, but there are too many. You feel blood trickling down your legs as you're eaten alive by thousands of hungry spiders. You start to hyperventilate. You start to choke as hundreds of spiders enter your mouth and throat. You feel their little legs wriggling around and crawling in your insides, chewing your body apart from the outside and inside. You're suffocating and bleeding everywhere. You collapse. Your blood gets consumed by the mass of spiders as you choke to death on spider legs. Melanie, we are starving. Her shrinking pierces your eyes. You lay your own blood on the cold tiles as spiders consume you to death. You lose consciousness. You're probably dead by now. What a terrible death, Noni. What? What's in it for you, Noni? You can't eat me. You have to leave. She falls silent, weighing her options to see what benefits her to her. If we fall into starvation, we come and ask for more. We are so hungry, Noni. You ponder this. You wouldn't mind forfeiting some groceries if it's church safety fighters tend to stare true to what you think. You haven't really heard any stories about traitor spiders, okay? You cautiously place the crumb or chop them in protein around near the crack in the window. Here, it's good. The one spider seems pleased. The crow thousand little spider legs is going away. You assume that she will return the food. She knows where it is. You hope she collects it promptly before it attracts the ants infesting your windowsill. She's gone. Okay. Leave. Okay, moving on. Skip. And skip. Okay, we hear you rush to the bathroom. This is your last resort. You might have something in the medicine cabinet. The sink smells faintly of lavender soap. The sink area is cold and damp. You shift across the cold padded tiles to the mirror and pry your fingers between the chilly groove to open it. Your heart is pounding. It feels like living a waking nightmare. You open your little medicine cabinet. It's filled with all sorts of prescriptions for all types of alignment. You start shifting through your bottles trying to find emergency medication. You need one of your panic attacks and one to get the psychotics back into your system. You pause. You start to question what you're doing. Do you really want this? You're struggling to take your medication, but you're changed to it. You recall the despair from terrible nausea and vomit from the antipsychotics. When you took it, you would feel so violently ill, paired with the unfighting drowsiness you couldn't fight. You couldn't stay awake, and yet you felt sick frequently. You would dread each night, counting down and calculating when you had to take your medication. You just had to get used to it. The drowsiness caused a grave anxiety. cause of waving anxiety and dread, tormenting you before you couldn't fight it any longer and passed out. You had to take it with a full meal or you would vomit. Your stomach hurt so bad. Every night you had to expect being in pain and mental anguish. Do you want it again? It's strange being trapped in a cycle of suffering. Why were you both with this disease? Why were you born with this disease? You peer into the cabinet and find your emergency medication. You hold the chill bottle gently. Are you taking this to survive and keep suffering? Should you continue fighting? Or should you just give up? Of course you take your fucking medication. Or keep fighting, you can survive it. It gets better. Oh my goodness, why do people ponder this? It does get better. If you keep fighting, eventually you will win. Why won't you? I just want to slap and just give people their medication. I wish I could just be with the person that is feeling down, just forcing them to keep on fighting, no matter how defeated they are. I just wish a better life for my friends, and they just don't realize that the problems are so insignificant. They don't realize that you can change for the better. You just have to keep on fighting. And I just want to slap the sense into them. You unscrew the lids to each medication which he hands. You know you'll be okay soon enough. You put the pills in your mouth and hold them there, cupping water from the sink to swallow the pills with. You swallow the pills and sit on the cold bathroom tile. The medication for your panic starts to work. You feel less alarmed. Your racing thoughts start to fade. You feel slower. You feel your mind frame gently flip and melt into serenity. Fuck. Things are starting to feel okay. You feel slower. You close your eyes and rest. Your breathing is starting to slow. You feel like you can finally breathe again. You survived. You made it back to your room safely. Comforting sun beams cascades through your window panes, giving a comforting aura. Your sheets feel cozy, painfully warmed by the sun. You exhale deeply, glad the night is gone. The room is still and calm. It evokes a gently sense of comfort. It might be difficult to choose life or death with an unfortunate deck of cards, your death. But it's worth it. You had to learn what true reality is from the ground up. Once you're medicated, it was worth it. Life isn't just suffering. It's not all pure and good either. But it doesn't have to be a self-condemnation to being stuck with a personal hell. You don't regret seeking help. It is so worth fighting. There are so many beautiful certain parts of life worth experiencing. Even if it's difficult, it's worth surviving and fighting. Keep fighting. It's worth it. For fuck's sakes. Finally, how long have I been recording? 1 hour? Cool. So Yeah. Yeah. Fuck. Fuck. Fuck this. Fuck everything. Fuck. Yeah, just fuck mental. Just like, what can I say? What? This seriously talked about how you must treat yourself. How much you. Why can't I formulate words? I hate. What's the fucking point of my voice if I can't speak properly? I need to read more. I need to do more visual novels. Okay, I'm gonna go. See you. Bye.